Dave Palumbo with an RxMuscle news update. Sad news in the bodybuilding world. I hate these reports and I hate to do them, but unfortunately, Shawn Perine, the editor-in-chief of Muscle and Fitness magazine and Flex magazine, among some of the other AMI titles, has passed away at the age of 51 years old. A lot of you may have known Shawn from the articles he's written in the Weider magazines over the years. He's been on a lot of the live stream telecasts of the Mr. Olympia contest over the years as well. I know him. He's from Long Island, New York. I used to see his mom in the gym all the time, when I lived up there. And, she was so proud of Shawn and what he accomplished. And to be honest with you, Shawn was probably one of these guys in the industry that everyone loved. I mean, I don't know anyone who ever said a bad word about this guy. I never had anything bad. I always had a great relationship with him, even though we worked for competing magazines for many years. And he was just a likable guy. And, he was one of these guys that took really good care of himself. He didn't smoke, he didn't drink. He was always in pristine condition. You could say, all right, Shawn, we got a photo shoot on Saturday, and he could do it. And he'd have ripped abs. And he was just one of these guys that really lived a healthy lifestyle. And so I was a little taken aback when I heard that at such a young age he was succumbed to cancer. And I talked to Dan Solomon, who was a very good friend of his for many years. And Dan's in shock too, because I guess in September, Shawn was diagnosed with like a very rare form of some kind of a lung cancer, which is weird because he never smoked. And when you get these rare cancers, you always have to wonder where they came from. Now, I don't really know that much about what happened, but it was a very aggressive cancer that didn't respond to chemotherapy, and it obviously killed him very quickly within 2 months. Which is not something you want to see from a young guy. I know Shawn wasn't married, he didn't have any kids, but he had a tremendous following, and I went and looked at his Twitter page, which was very popular, and I hadn't seen a post since September, I guess when the diagnosis went down at the end of September there. But I did notice that it's funny, in his title of all his, his accomplishments and what his job was, he had the word, it's actually the longest word in the English language. The word was pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. And I looked it up, because even Dave Palumbo doesn't know every word. I knew it had something to do with the lungs, and it's really just a long version of the term silicosis, which is something that when you inhale fine particles into your lungs, it can cause a type of inflammatory, chronic inflammatory disease. And sometimes that could lead to cancer. So I don't know if this is something that he had. It was weird that the word was just in his title, like it was like part of his title. And so I don't know if that was his way of like message to the world that this is what I got, and how he got it, I don't know. But we do know that he's no longer with us, and I know a lot of people have been posting on Facebook and Instagram about this. I know John Hansen posted it, John Noom also. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more. Peter McGuff, who worked with him at Weider for many, many years, posted as well about this, and I'm sure we'll hear more from Peter. Peter probably could write the best, insight into the life of Shawn Perine of anyone, because he spent so much time with him. I was just basically a person who ran across him at a couple shows during the year, and we would chat for a little bit, and that was really it. But when a guy your own age kind of dies suddenly, you start to question your own mortality. And I know Dan Solomon was telling me the same thing, and him and I are about the same age, and as Shawn, and we're like, holy mackerel, we have families, and this could have happened to us, and it makes you take inventory of what you do on a daily basis. This was not a guy who was pushing the envelope in any way whatsoever. He wasn't doing anything risky for his health. If anything, he was probably doing the opposite. He was probably the healthiest guy I know. And I consider myself to be a guy who's into health and supplementation, all that. And he was he was like, he made me look like I was I wasn't taking care of myself. So the message out there, I guess, is live every life to its fullest. Don't think about tomorrow or the past, because nothing's guaranteed in this life. And Shawn, we miss you tremendously. My prayers, condolences go out to your family in this time of need, and your friends, and hopefully we could all say a prayer and take a moment of silence in our day and remember Shawn Perine.